Sunday night, not waiting for my sushi. Sushi just got here, but I wanted to try something different, but I'm not going to have the whole bottle. Since it's such an expensive bottle, I got it from the Montivino. When I went to Montivino and did that unboxing a while ago, there's a specific wine I always had on my list, and it's a Vin Jaune from the Jura, east of France, Chateau Chalon. This is a 2008, and it was a very expensive bottle. So I used my Corvin to just extract probably about 1.5 glasses of it, and you can see extremely oxidized color, or a very deep golden yellow, and the aroma is outrageous. I'm gonna let it just breathe just for a little bit more. I'm pretty sure they just do this. They make this wine similar to how sherry is made, where they have the floor, the yeast on top of in the barrel, just on top, resting, protecting the wine, and then it just gets this sort of funkiness to it. This is a 2008, so this is a 2008 white wine from the Jura. So with my sushi though, well, we'll talk about that after. Let's just talk about this first. So what even got me onto wanting to try this Vin Jaune? I watched a documentary, The Delicacy, recently, and it was all about, now I'm forgetting the name of the sea snail, abalone, I think, which I don't think I've ever had it. But then they started talking about uni being sea urchin, and it's not roe, it's actually technically gonads. But somebody actually, in one of the subsequent follow-up videos to the 1-hour documentary on uni, which was great if you're an uni lover, sea urchin lover, someone paired a Vin Jaune with this, and they said it sort of worked really well. It just made me think if they had uni today. But sushi place doesn't have uni, but I'd like to have a little bit of this with sushi, which I will. But first, as usual, just having it on its own, and it absolutely smells like an old white wine with that beeswax, honeycomb, marzipan. It's got a really overripe lemon smell. Just before lemon's starting to rot, it's got a smell of that. There's no herbal character in them. Well, no, there is an herbal character. Like a jasmine, maybe. Maybe a jasmine. It's unlike anything I've ever smelled. So, really unique. I'm having a tough time nailing it to give it disparity. So the 2009 Coulis de Sorrento Sauvignon, the Chenin Blanc from the Sauvignon region in the Loire, made by Nicolas Joly, the biodynamic pioneer. It sort of reminds me of that a little bit on the nose, but not 100%. Just a little bit different. Definitely more oxidized, and there's definitely something else. Maybe it's that aging it in the barrel with that yeast on top of the floor. So more similarly to how sherry, I wonder if this will taste a little bit more like dry sherry. Sherry typically being a cooking wine, but there's some very real expressions of sherry, and then the super dry sherry that's almost yellowish, and then you got all the sherries that oxidize and go up, and you have the very sweet sherries as well. Sherry is a very sort of misunderstood category, one that I want to explore a little more. I don't know why I'm talking about sherry when we should talk about Vin Jaune from the Jura, but I forget the grape in here. Sauvignon, I forget. When I took my WSET class, our teacher did bring in one of these. I was one of the classes I missed, and I was pretty disappointed, but I heard this wine was like a hit or miss type of thing. Love or hate. Oh. Yeah, that would not now remind me. So on the nose, maybe it's like a chamomile tea. Oh, that was there's definitely a big hint of chamomile. Very dry, absolutely dry. Like a nuttiness a little bit, and a little almond taste. It's definitely got some funkiness to it. I want to say mushroomy, but it's not mushroomy, it's something else. Long finish, good acid. This should go well with this is warming. 14%. Feels like it might be higher. Very unique. Very unique white wine. This is up there, top 5 unique whites I've ever had. this style for sure. For the price, probably want to try it again. Found a less expensive version probably, but happy to finally try this. Wow, that's pretty funky. It's got a funk to it. Lemon pith a little bit, but not sour. I mean, a little bit. It's got, you know, that unsweetened honey sort of taste. So if you took all the sweetness out of honey, or the honey that I have at home, the Arbutus made from strawberries, it's a bitter honey. It sort of reminds me a little bit of that bitter honey. I wonder what it'd be like a little warmer. I mean, I did pull it out at 50 degrees, so it's been pretty good. Not overly cold. Very interesting. See how it evolves, see how to go with sushi. I suspect it'll go better a little bit more with food. Maybe some of that funk will come off. Really interesting though. I think this definitely would pair well with something. See how it is with sushi, maybe some type of fish. This could definitely pair up, but very unique. Definitely some cheeses. I could see like some stinky cheeses in this. I think would go really well. Not quite sure why, but it just feels like I want a stinky cheese. I want a creamy, I want a camembert or a triple cream brie or something right now to have with this. So that's this wine, the Chateau Chalon 2008. It was expensive. This was about $100. So probably a very good Domaine Pécheur, I guess. Just, you know, odd bottle, 620 milliliters. So tonight with just sushi, after I have that, just going with this Verdicchio de Castelli di Jesse. Love this wine, 2017. It's got a few years on it. I just think this wine's amazing for 25 bucks. Italian white. I only recently discovered it, maybe in the last 6 to 12 months. I think I've shown it on here a number of times. I think it's got a really great taste. Awesome with sushi. I think that would go good with a lot of different foods. Great alternative to any white wine out there. So I think I'm going to cut it here. I'm going to go have my sushi. Finally got that Vin Jaune. I'm going to check it into Vivino. I guess it'd be like a 4 out of 5 is sort of what I'm thinking. Because it feels well made. Feels like it's a good expression of what this should be. It's kind of what I read it should be. Even if it's not my favorite wine, sometimes if something is made well, I'm still going to rate it good enough or well enough. I'm not going to pan it. It is what it is. It's showing its identity. It's an absolutely genuine wine from everything I've read. And this is only the first one I've ever had. But it absolutely tastes like I've read and like I've studied. So, just on that alone, I'm going sort of on a whim here that it's a 2008, and the producer is good, and I got it from Amontivino. Everything I got from Amontivino felt very genuine, very real. If they had it there, it's going to be a good wine. Everything I got from there was a good wine. So, that's it. We'll have some sushi. Have a good night.